And welcome to another Main Event Broadcasting Network special edition. Today we're joined by head golf coach Michael McMunn, and we will be looking at the men's golf side for the season preview. Coach, on the flip side, we're going to take a look at the men's team and just kind of look at their season. What tournament in the fall are you looking forward to specifically this year for them?
At the moment, I'm looking at our event because it's our first event. First event's going to be Monday, Tuesday, September 8th and 9th. Not a huge field, but it gives us the opportunity to play everybody on the roster. It gives everybody the chance to have some experience, kind of get their feet wet with some college golf, especially the freshmen coming in. And it also gives the returners the chance to kind of knock some rust off and kind of get back in the groove of playing some tournament golf and getting those nerves and kind of the mindset you need to have outside of qualifying and outside of just playing every day. But that right now that's the only event I'm focused on is trying to play the best we can play at our event, and then as soon as that event's over with, it's on to the next, which is the next day.
Yes, sir. That's a great mentality. And as you mentioned, first event coming up Monday and Tuesday at the Orchard Golf and Country Club. Describe what you see that experience going to the 4 new freshmen that you have coming in, and how that's going to kind of help them, get their bearings, so to speak, and kind of start off on the right foot. They're comfortable. This is the course that they practice on. This is the course that they shoot at almost every day. And just that kind of comfortability, transitioning from high school to college golf, and how that's going to work out for them.
It's funny because the 4 guys we have coming in all have 4 different types of experience in playing in golf. So it's, and all 4 of their types of experiences are different, and they're good in ways and bad in ways. Obviously, none of them play college golf yet, so I'm anxious to see how they all, nerves and how well they play and how well they kind of adapt to, it is college golf, but it's also just tournament golf. So they played who knows how many tournaments before they got here. So it's kind of their mindset. We've talked about this a lot with the freshmen. It's just another round of golf, just another tournament round of golf. So let's just go play golf. It helps us being at home, like you said, because it kind of gives them, I would say, a comfort zone, but it gives them more of an opportunity to be a little more laid back and understand. I do get this club on this hole every day. And you're not questioning a certain yardage. So, I'm excited to anxious to see those guys play and see what they can do. And also, our event is our 2-day events to qualify for our next event. So, there's a little bit more added pressure to our event because it is a qualifier for our next event. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the guys kind of handle that extra little nervousness.
Yeah, that should definitely make it a little bit more interesting. Speaking on that, you only have 2 seniors, so this season, as much as it is important for them, and we don't want to diminish what they've done here, Richie Etheridge and James McMillan, but you're building for the future, so to speak, where you got a lot of young players. We're going to talk about Jake Forbes, who shot in the low to mid 70s pretty much all year, and so you're really building for the future. So going back to those 3 players specifically, the 2 seniors and the sophomore, Jake, what kind of roles do you see them falling into this year, and how did their experience that they've had in the past, and Forbes' pretty much outstanding season last year, how do you plan on using that this year?
Right. Well, we talk about leadership all the time. And one thing about this season versus last year, year 4, we have a lot of depth. With 9 guys on the roster this year, we have a ton of depth. So if somebody's going through a couple of weeks slump, then somebody else is just going to jump right in and take over for that same spot. With the 2 seniors, they've been through the process for 3 years. They've been in my system for 2 years. They understand kind of what I'm looking for, kind of what I want out of practice, out of workouts and everything. And their roles will be different. James is more of a verbal leader and try to gives you advice and helps you out doing. James is a really smart kid. I mean, he's had a 4.0 pretty much every semester here. So he understands what it takes as you're traveling and as you're studying and to combine it all in a good balance. Richie will be good because of the experiences he's been through, barely missing qualifying, being just barely left out as a sixth man a couple of times last year, and understanding that in case something like that happens this year with one of the freshmen, he's going to be there and say, look, man, I've been through this and I understand what's going on. Just go get better. I feel good about our leadership. But also, I mean, we've got a couple of freshmen that are going to come in and be a different type of leadership. I'm expecting them to come in and possibly be our number one, number two, and at worst 2 or 3. So that's a different type of leadership. You've got playing leaders and then you've got verbal leaders. And I think Richie and James are going to fall more into the verbal leaders. If they step up, that'd be great for us. I'm excited to see those guys are motivated because it's their last year to play college golf. So they've really put in a lot of time and effort at practice, trying to get better. And they understand that with such a large freshman class coming in, that you can't just kind of go out and lollygag and qualify and make it now. You have to go post good scores. And that's going to help us. Qualifiers are going to help us now prepare us for tournaments. And like last year, we had a couple of times 85 qualified for tournaments. So, we're done with those days. I'm glad we're done with those days. But that's the mentality that these guys are going to have now. Is, I got to come to a qualifier and be ready to play. I can't just show up and expect to, hack it around and qualify.
Yeah, well, it's always good to have a good mixture of leaders and everything. You have different dynamics that really, have the possibility to mold the team even closer. So we talked about the 2 seniors. So describe, Jake Forbes had an outstanding season last year, and just kind of what you see, not necessarily what you want from him, but kind of like what you want to see him do and achieve, and his kind of like role on the team.
Yeah, Jake had a good season for us last year. He struggled a little bit in the spring, and I'm not sure if that was just the overwhelming effect of the spring schedule being so compressed and jumping right back into, we were in school for a month, and then obviously the weather was not great, so we didn't get very much practice time before our first event. And then we just kind of threw them to the wolves, so to speak, there in the season. And then we almost had 0 practice time, and guess what? It's time to travel and start playing again. So hopefully the weather this spring will be a little nicer to us, so we can get a couple of weeks of practice in. But yeah, Jake, we're excited. He's playing some pretty solid golf right now, and he's been a solid leader for the incoming guys. He's out there all the time. He's in the gym all the time working out. So it's nice to see somebody, taking that leadership role. And Joseph Morris the same way. They both just kind of, wherever they go, everybody just seems to kind of gravitate towards them. And it's nice because those 2 guys are always either on the golf course or in the gym.
They're doing good things.
They're
leading in a good
direction.
direction.
Exactly. So it's exciting for me to see. It blows my mind. I had Joe in the office the other day, and I'm sitting there talking to him, and he looked at me. He said, "I'm a junior." I said, "There's no way you're a junior. Yesterday you were a freshman." But so it's nice to be able to, when he realizes that, and he told me, looked me in the face and said, "I'm a junior," and he knows that his role is starting to change, and he understands that he's going to have to be more of a leader towards these younger guys coming in. So having Jake and Joe returning is going to help us a ton.
That's awesome. Well, we actually were fortunate enough to get out there and see you guys practice, and we can definitely attest to the hard work that they're putting in, and very, very specific things that you guys are working on. And just give us, you said you didn't like to talk about the expectations and what you expect, but just kind of some of the maybe personal and team goals that you have for the team this year, because there's no short of talent or players that we've talked about. And obviously, you know, they're going to put the work in. They're going to have the work ethic to go after and get it, which is probably the greatest thing you can hear as a coach, is to know that your guys want to do it.
Right.
So describe some of the goals that you have for not only the team, but maybe a few specific players.
I think on the men's side this year, our main goal, like the women's side, is to take it shot by shot. You never want to get ahead of yourself. But I did mention something to the guys the other day about they get so wrapped up in scoring, you know, and numbers and all this, and par and bogey and birdie, and I want them to start focusing more on each hole just being a number. I made a 3 there, I made a 4 here, because then you're not worried about, did I make a par, did I make a bogey, did I make, and then you get wrapped up and I just made 4 bogeys in a row, and then you have this mental breakdown. And when you just look at it as numbers, after 18 holes, you add up all those numbers and you look and say, well, that's a pretty good score. Mm-hmm. And I think that mentality this year is going to help us not focus so much on the final number. I mean, we had so many times last year, so many events, we played really, really well the first day, and then it was almost like we were scared to play well again. So I feel like that mentality this year of, it's just a number, you know, if it's 295, 305, 325, it's just a number, who cares? Mm-hmm. And I think that's going to help us the next day. And it you know, it helps me a little bit to understand, seeing those guys go through what we went through last year, and kind of understanding on my side how to deal with those situations. I feel like we're going to have a more consistent year, definitely from day 1 to day 2. And also the scheduling this year. We've dropped an event at Maryville, and we've added Royal Lake, which is hosted by Oakland. So we've put the guys in opportunities to succeed and to advance on the national stage. It's just kind of that mentality of, do they want to kind of take the bull by the horn, so to speak, and advance and get kind of over that hump into that next level.
Well, that's awesome, and we definitely hope the best for you. But thank you for joining us here today, and good luck with the season.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you once again for joining us on a MEBN Broadcasting Network special sit down with head coach McMunn. I am Billy Mangum, and we'll see you next time.